One question we hear all the time from school and district leaders is this: what does literacy professional development actually cost? It's a fair question, but at Brainspring, we don't really think about this work as cost. We think about it as an investment, because when structured literacy is implemented well, schools should expect a real return: stronger Tier 1 instruction, fewer students needing intensive intervention, and better outcomes for students. So the question isn't just what does it cost? The better question is, what kind of return should we expect from this investment? In this video, I'll walk through the key factors that typically drive investment cost in literacy training, so you can better understand what you're comparing when evaluating different programs. Let's start with typical investment ranges. Across the country, literacy professional development can range anywhere from around $500 to $3,000 or more per educator, depending on how comprehensive the training is. For example, a one-day workshop or conference session might fall at the lower end. Those can be great for introducing ideas and spurring initiatives. But when districts are really trying to shift instructional practice, especially around things like the science of reading or structured literacy, the training usually goes deeper, and that tends to increase the investment. While the total investment matters, what's even more important is understanding what you actually receive in return. A single-day workshop can introduce important concepts, but lasting instructional change requires more than a brief exposure to strategies. More in-depth training gives educators time to connect the research to daily decisions they make in their classrooms. That often includes multiple learning sessions, opportunities to practice instructional routines, and time to analyze how students respond. This kind of sustained learning helps teachers move from simply understanding the research to applying it in real classroom contexts. Because of that added depth and support, it's one of the key factors that influence investment. Another factor to consider is whether instructional materials are included. Some professional development focuses primarily on theory or research. Others provide classroom-ready routines, lessons, and materials teachers can actually use with students immediately. Having ready-to-use instructional routines and materials can significantly reduce planning time for teachers. When districts receive both the training and the instructional tools together, the investment may be higher, but the implementation is often much smoother. The modality of the training provided can also influence the total investment cost. In-person training often comes at a higher investment level because it requires an instructor to travel to your location, along with the time and logistics involved in delivering that training on site. For many schools and districts, that face-to-face experience can be valuable, but it does add to the overall cost. Live stream training can often reduce that investment because educators and instructors are able to meet virtually, eliminating travel-related expenses while still providing live instruction, interaction, and guided learning. Self-paced training typically falls into a different investment category. While it still requires facilitation, support, and systems to help educators stay on track, it does not require an instructor to dedicate an entire week to live delivery. That can make it more flexible and often more cost-efficient option for districts that need scalability. So when comparing professional learning options, it's important to look not just at what is being taught, but how it is being delivered, because modality plays a meaningful role in the overall investment. Many schools and districts have learned that training alone doesn't always translate into consistent classroom practice. That's why professional learning partnerships should include coaching and consultation. These supports provide job-embedded guidance, help literacy leaders identify key look-fors during classroom observations, and support teams in reviewing student data to make informed instructional decisions. That additional support may increase the investment, but it also helps to ensure the training actually shows up in the classroom and leads to stronger outcomes. And finally, the size of your district can influence the overall investment. When larger districts train hundreds of educators at once, the per-teacher investment is often lower because the cost of delivering the training is spread across more participants. With smaller groups, that same level of work, preparation, instruction, and materials is shared among fewer educators, which can make the per-teacher investment a bit higher. So it's very common for professional providers to adjust their pricing based on the scale of the partnership. At the end of the day, literacy professional development isn't just another cost line on your budget. It's an investment in the future outcomes of your students. So when districts are evaluating different options, it helps to ask a few key questions. How deep does the training go? And does it provide opportunities for real classroom application? Are instructional materials included? And do they support both the training and the implementation? Is there ongoing support, such as coaching or consultation, to help sustain the work? These factors typically have the biggest impact, not just on the total cost of the investment, but on the results you'll see with your students. If you're currently exploring literacy training options for your district, hopefully this gives you a clearer picture of what typically influences the price, or better yet, the investment, and what to look for as you evaluate different programs.